Hello, welcome back. Grantham CBT returning today with none other than the level up 737-800. I have just downloaded this recently, and I finally decided, everybody, to get rid of the Zebo mod in favour of this one. I have to say, my brief experience with the level up version 2 so far has been extremely positive. This has been an absolutely superior, excellent add-on. It's far surpassing many payware aircraft, even in terms of its standards. The actual visual fidelity is so high, and the PBR texturing is so clear that you would expect this to be payware, but it isn't. It's completely free to download, and I'm so grateful that Level Up released version 2. It's been massively improved in terms of visual quality and, of course, the texturing. There's been a lot of new signage put in there. The actual model itself looks slightly different. Looks like they may have changed the physical shape of it a little bit. The sounds have been massively improved. The actual default states have been improved. So when I loaded it in initially, it was as I would set it up, if that makes sense. So all the preferences were as you would expect it to be for a real world pilot, or even somebody who's trying to do it very realistically. So sounds massively improved, the system's massively improved. I think just overall, they've brought what was probably one of the greatest add-ons available and made it even better somehow. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to hop on into the aircraft in a sec, but first I want to have a quick look round and just look around the exterior of the plane as we did previously, and just to show you the visual fidelity of this. We're going to be in Pobeda today, and we've actually got a little bit of a special trip. So rather than going all the way to one place and not doing anything in between, I split the journey into two. So we'll be going first off to Helsinki, and then we'll be continuing on, I hope that's right, Helsinki, and then continuing on to Stockholm. Now, I did say it's going to be a return flight, but if it takes more than 2 hours to get there, and it shouldn't take more than 2, then we can do the return trip. If it's a bit more than 2, then I'll probably do the return trip on a different day. Yeah, anyway, going back to the visual model, you can just see it just looks extremely real. And again, new signage is on the aircraft, new features on the exterior, new signage on the engines, just a overall higher fidelity. I think they've done something magic. It feels like they've done something magic to the model. It really does. It's gone to a whole other level. Some of the things under here, like these little details that you can see, these little signages and these little holes and the rivets, extremely well done. Even the lights are of high standards. I still can't get over how, I have touched on it slightly in the past, but how people sell products and the less quality than the freeware. But it is what it is, isn't it? People will do what they will do. So engines, again, excellent. And down here, in particular, the undercarriages really is a strong point on this plane. But look, just look at that visual quality there. This is freeware, and it's using 4K PBR texturing. That braking system is absolutely first class. I'm really impressed. I'm just so impressed with this detailing on the lines, especially the brake lines, hydraulic fluid. It's just incredible. I don't think, I mean, even the chocks, guys, look, you can see the PBR on there, just look absolutely fantastic. So anyway, we move around, all the doors and things can be opened, but we're not, concerned with that. We're concerned with flying it. I am in the Russian livery, so the signage will be in Russian, but it just goes to show that, even if it wasn't in that, if it was in the default livery, it would still have these signs, but it'd be in English. So it just goes to show the level of sort of care and research that's gone into it. The fact that they've put this down here, again, for the ram air up here in the APU door. It's just unbelievable. And of course the lights in the APU at the back. You cannot miss it on this thing, it's like a scream in the face. Okay, cool. So a little bit of a walk around to show you just what it looks like on the outside. Then when we get inside, guys, it actually gets better. It's been massively improved. It's gone from, I think it was probably in high definition, but now it's gone to, I think, 4K. If it wasn't already in it, it certainly looks it, or maybe even 8K textures. So let's just get this door open if I can do. And I'm assuming the stairs will possibly come out for me. No, that's fine. Let's hop in. So a little bit dark. Let's just go into the cockpit and we'll get some lights on in this place. I have got GPU connected, so it should be popping up as available. No, strangely not. And look at that. So immediately, we are kind of skipping the cabin for a moment, but immediately when you come in, you can see all this icing on the windows. Now, this is 100% a new feature. So when I flew in the Pobeda 737 level up last time, we did have cold conditions at St. Petersburg, and there was nothing like this on the windows. Granted, we've not got window heat on, but still, this is just a whole other level of realism, isn't it? Right, let's get to the ground power isn't connected, so you might as well dismiss that. I think we have to do it for the menu on the side, so let's call it there. There we go, GPU connect, and hopefully that'll get the cabin lights on. There we go, so cabin lights. Let's just ignore the cockpit for a second, we'll close that. Yeah, so as you come in, immediately these sort of cabins, drinks areas, improved visual fidelity, improved signage everywhere. There's a lot more signs. The lights look generally better. These cabinets here, photorealistic, very photorealistic. Again, toilet, still not accessible, but you know, again, still there for detail. Moving into the cabin, so immediately this sign here is different and all new, all higher quality with a new and lovely carpet and a fantastic seating arrangement. I am really loving the seating arrangement. I've never found this kind of plane, you know, in the commercial sector, so I'm sure this is based on something private, but you know, maybe we can dream a little bit on this channel. We can hope for these kind of seats on a commercial flight one day. Yeah, very, very high quality, and even the seat belts, the seat signs, you got the marble cup holders. This is a high-end plane, and I don't just mean that from a development point of view. I mean from like a cost point of view. As you move down, the beautiful lights and the sort of texturing is still consistent. There's no inconsistencies. If we come to the emergency doors, you see immediately there's some new signage here, and immediately the windows and things look a lot better in terms of their dimensions. The proportions look like they may have been improved, especially when you come to the window like that. Now you can see it a little bit clearly, more clearly than what I could before. And again, it's like that throughout most of the cabin. I think the only thing left to add in the cabin now would be some servers. Some flight crew and some food and drinks, and that would be it. Maybe some folding tray tables, but in general, guys, this is still the definitive level up, definitive 737 for X-Plane 12. There is no better 737 available. Zebra mod was good, sure, but once you do the level up version, you will never go back. I actually just recently uninstalled Zebra mod. This is miles better, and you'll notice as well, they still got the locked door feature. Well, they did have the locked door feature, guys. So you can enter the code in here, and I can't remember how I got that to work last time, but it did work, and you could enter it, and you know, the door would open, etc. Let's try that. No idea. Anyway, it is going to work. We haven't locked it, that's probably why. Into the cockpit. Let's get some lights on in here, so you can see what we're talking about. Okay, excellent lighting, by the way, really glowing well. There's no obvious issues. A solid state object with collision, so there's no passing through it like a lot of cheaper models. This is freeware, so if the freeware is doing it, then the payware should too. In terms of the graphics, it still looks very much high quality, still very much the same. In terms of adding things, I think it's just the visual side of things is improved. Those effects on the windows. And in this version, guys, you can open the windows. I absolutely love that feature. It's brilliant. Yeah, so switches up here again, not the sort of fake flight simulator switches, but the proper flimsy plastic ones, which are realistic, by the way. Completely realistic to the real 737. Circuit breakers also haven't been modelled yet, but I suspect in time they will. These are all high quality writings and all high quality modelling. I'm a little bit speechless by the quality of it. I mean, even the fire extinguishers there, and it's easy to read it. You know, the oxygen is functional. They've got a coffee cup here with some foaming around the side. Now that's new. It's just beyond words how amazing this team is, and if they ever did sell their products with, you know, extras on it, I would probably buy it. I actually highly recommend this plane. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you don't have it already and you want to try 737, then this is the way to go. Anyway, that was it. Quick look around. Let's get on with the flight, and we'll get going from Petrozavodsk. And how do I close that again? So I can't quite remember, guys. So quick regions. Ah, there it is. Petrozavodsk down to whatever the airport is. I keep forgetting it. Right, so freezing windows. We may have icing conditions. We have got ice on the windows, but maybe not in the air. Fingers crossed. Let's get on with it. So still got preset views to set. I haven't quite done it on this one. We'll do a few light tests and just really take in this lighting, by the way, which is something else, isn't it? You'll also notice up here with the buttons, it's no longer an instant alarm, so you have to wait a few seconds. The store warning has usually been the same. You would have to wait for the batteries to charge up. And we do the same here. So the window heats. We're going to see that ice melt off. I'm assuming it probably will know in the skill level at level up team. Of course, off again and then on. And we'll wait for that ice to melt. And we'll get the we don't need the APU on. We've got GPU at the moment. Let's get our nav lights on. And I'm going to do the IRS. So let's go align. And as you can see there, the ice is in fact melting. That's very realistic. The animation is absolutely superb. So line and navigation, we do the same on this side. Okay, aligned on there. Yeah, completely melt. Well, not completely, but melting off. It's getting there, isn't it? I hope you can hear the sounds, everybody. They're really top notch. The recordings are obviously real live recordings, F-mod sounds, I'm assuming. By the way, all the sounds down here and the lightings, again, just very, very smooth. No obvious problems and no clunky edges or bad texturing, etc. The team of masters over there at level up. Right, there we go. Cleared it up. It does in fact melt over time. So let's go ahead and get our stuff loaded. Where's the EFB gone? I think that was just on there, wasn't it, everybody? So it's on the code bar. I wonder if there's clicked on the button for it. Ah, that's cool. So you can click on the pen. I didn't know that. Now, fuel weight and balance. I'm going to probably load up as much fuel as we can possibly take. Passengers, we have about 143 today. Now, I have had my flight punkalizer, and you can't see it, but I know what the numbers are. Trust me. Or at least try and trust me on this one. So we've got about 3,800 on the cargo, and then fuel wise, the first trip to Helsinki we've got a lot of fuel, about 7,500, and then the same amount from Helsinki to Stockholm. So the total fuel we can probably take about 9,000 kg. Let's take 9,500. Activate that. So even though the window heat's on, obviously it won't melt it off the sides entirely, but this is a good way to see whether we need a de-icing or not. Let's just get that middle window closed. Not sure why that's open. Something that happens on this. There we go. Yeah, so no ice formation outside, just on the window. And they'll probably bring in the packs anytime soon. Fuel truck call. And we'll wait for them to get loaded up as the IRS lines, and we'll put our route in to the FMC in the meantime. Okay, completely blank, not very useful to me, is it? So let's go ahead and put our destination and waypoints. So we have Uniform Lima Bravo. Papa Bravo. That's right, isn't it? PB. And then we're going to Esther, is it? Esther is the one in Helsinki? Or no, Echo Foxtrot November Kilo. Echo Foxtrot November Kilo. My mistake, guys. Hotel Kilo. Flight number today, we'll just make one up and we'll just say we're flight number 6. Okay, cool. Then we get legs, departures, etc. So on our plan is giving us to get us to Foxtrot. Let's see if we can do it from runway 19. So get us to Foxtrot is in fact coming up. And we'll do the arrival as well. Don't know what the runway for the arrival is actually, but I know the arrival will be a Rock V Vepin. Actually there is no arrival, what am I talking about? So there is no start procedure coming up. Maybe I'm blind, maybe there is something. In that case then we'll just have to wait to see if there is ATC. Now there is Vepin coming up, but I don't know what it is on mine. So it could be any number of those Vepin arrivals for runway, you know, whatever runway is available. So in the meantime, we've got to get us on the departure there, and then we can go to legs. We can enter our waypoints. November 187. Whew. Thank God for that. I forgot I was going to do it the wrong side then. Ketol. And then Ketol, so there's a long number there. That's probably just to confirm the right place. Director SIG. And then direct to Rock V. Ah, welcome in. It is it's an excellent one, Heinrich. Absolutely excellent. I'll be flying in Germany soon as well. Loving the Pobeda delivery on this aircraft though. It's absolutely beautiful. It really is. So on this one, I can't remember it. I'll probably have to move. I just realised actually I have to move the ground crew thing over, but I've just deleted the Zebra mod folder. So I'll have to redo that. I think that means the passengers and fuel will be loading up. Yeah, so I'll have to get those files back. But either way, one of the new improvements is they now have physical pilots in the cockpit, whereas before they didn't. Now they're actually using the X-Plane 12 pilots, which I really like. So before, because they didn't transfer the models from Zebra, it was just blank models, but now these are the ones actually that people should be using in their aircraft if they can't make their own or they don't want to. 100% agree with what Level Up have done there, so no problems with that. Superior plane, it really is. Right, so there we are, and then we'll activate that and we'll just make do with the plan until we get our arrival clearance and we'll see what it is. Okay, plan fuel, so still refueling. We're going to be a little bit more time and wait for that IRS. Let's get the trim air on, let's get the yaw damper on. 3 minutes left on there. So I have to go, yeah, so I have to go back online for the Zebra mods ground services thing, it seems. Just gonna have a quick look. Ground services. There is in fact this dedicated one I just found. It's ground handling deluxe set for the Level Up 737. Now maybe that'll be a bit better for this one because I was using the Zebra mod before, so this one does look kind of better, and I need something specifically for this aircraft as well, but that seems for X-Plane 11. If you do know where the round one for X-Plane 12, drop it in the chat or in the comments. It just is amazing. I think the link should be in the stream for you guys. If you want to try this out, please go ahead and do so. If it's not there, I'll drop in the links afterwards. You can just Google it. It's not hard to find it. Anyway, taking a while on the IRS, let's just check everything back here. So visually, we've done the walk around, everything's good. As you can see, collision is there, guys. The collision is built in. We have working, well not working, but we have switches and fans up here. We do have a working door, I believe, when it's on locked mode. You see locks failed. When we start the flying, we lock the door properly. It will probably say, it will probably enter the code when we enter basically. Let's get loaded on the paddocks. So, signs, just lights armed. They should be coming to the aircraft any second. We've got 100% fuel on board, so we have about 9.5, which is good. We're only expecting 7.5 for the trip. And the cost index, now I didn't actually look at this, but I think we can probably put a row, and apparently it's 14 on the way to Stockholm from Helsinki, so I guess we could just use that for this trip as well. So let's go 15 on the cost index, and then reserves, about 2 tons of reserves on board. Cruising altitude 38,000. So top of climb, again I don't really know where my flight plan's gone for the first sector, but flight plan winds and things can be got off the winds page and top climb, etc. And cruise wind, I guess you could guess based on real weather. Sometimes it is better to get it off the actual plan, so I'm going to look at the wind info. Top climb 38. Just say 30046, let's say that. -0.46. It's probably going to be very, very cold up there. It's -64, jeez. So you want minus there and then -64. Okay, packs are loading up. This is good. The IRS has a line. Let's go ahead and get that on while we wait. Ah, new announcements, everybody. Brilliant. That is absolutely excellent, isn't it? So no longer having to click it on the tablet. All automatic.
So that when we come to performing those duties, just let us know and we'll get you reseated. So that we may push back on the gate, please raise your seat back and tray tables to the full upright and locked position. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened.
She's giving that announcement pretty early. People are still boarding, so she's talking to... that's a little bit unprofessional, madam. You should wait till everybody's on board. Anyway, she sounds like she's a typical flight attendant, you know, very, very happy. So let's go ahead and put 38,000 on the cruise for the pressurization. Landing altitude, I'm not really sure, so we'll leave it at 300 feet. You can also put your departure altitude, and of course we'll get our aircraft set up for departure with the QNH and things. So 1029. And we'll set the minimums for takeoff. In this case we'll use... we want the pink line, don't we? Barometric minimum, so in this case it'll be about 1400 feet. Sorry, 1140 feet. There you go. So when we get to 1,000 feet, that's usually a good point for the pilots to pitch down a little bit and build up some speed. Also helps them to account for when they should retract flaps and things like that. And it will also tell the computer system when to reduce the power from the takeoff to the climb, for example. In our case, we're probably going to go with at 143 packs. Probably going to go with D-rate 1, I think, today, because it's a little bit on the cold side. Plus, we've got the ice on the runway that we've got to deal with. So there's a few risk factors today. We haven't had any holdover time. It's just the takeoff that's going to be a little bit of concern.
Glide slow. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. In up. Sink rate. Sink rate. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up.
Let's just scare the passengers
Don't
a bit
sink.
with a few
Don't sink.
UPWS
Too low.
tests.
Terrain. Too low. Gear. Too low. Flaps.
Perfectly safe, by
Too
the way.
low. Terrain.
Nothing to worry about.
Light slope. Bank angle. Bank angle.
Approaching minimums.
Absolutely freezing in
Minimum.
the cabin though, jeez.
2,500.
What's the temperature outside? -2. Let's warm this up a little bit.
500.
Very, very cold in
400.
there. Barely
300.
1 or 2 degrees.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
Let's get the air cube lead on for the air.
Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Too low. Terrain. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Obstacle. 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 Pull up.
So for the APU to come alive now. So that's coming alive, but we're going to get that on for the APU bleed air because it's very, very cold in the cabin. You know, people are going to be freezing to death, and that is no joke. That will actually happen. In this kind of weather as well, we probably want to get the pitot heat on now to get things melted off of it. When you turn the controls on, by the way, the hydraulic pumps, you're going to be able to hear those come alive, and you'll be able to hear the hydraulic systems kick in. Again, just new sound effects. APU sounds a bit more accurate. Okay, cool. So everybody's loading up still. We've not got everybody on board. We can do a little bit more down here on performance, I guess. Animal limits. Like I say, we're going to go for the 24k takeoff rate because of the ice on the runway and the snow. The reason why I'm doing that is because I feel like if we go full power, we might possibly skid. That's my concern. Plus, we're light enough to be able to do that, and then we'll go for climb one as standard. And you can also do the outside air temperature as well, but it's already set at -2. Flaps today, we're going to do standard flap 5 takeoff. So flaps 5, and this will give us our things. But again, we can only do that when we've got a full load on board, which should be soon. So I guess from a piloting perspective, the biggest weight would be 100% the fuel, 100% the cargo, and most likely the passengers loading on board. That will be what takes the most amount of time for people to get in the air. We're heading center altitude. The center altitude straight up to 38,000 feet. We have no reason to stop unless ATC comes in line and stops us. We'll probably be heading runway 19, so we'll set that as a takeoff, runway 19, and we'll set the course in that direction as well. Again, I don't know the direct course for the runway, but 190 is the actual name of it, so it'll be the same on the side. As you can see, that's all fully ready. If you want to do minimums on the co-pilot side, I'll just show you. It is actually different. You can change it here, so you can change it for him and it'll change it. I just realised it's locked, the captain. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Local time here in Petrozavodsk is saying it's about 5 o'clock, so not too bad. Kind of on Moscow time. Let's welcome people on board. I'm assuming this intercom system is working.
I want to thank you so much for your company and business. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Again, welcome aboard.
Okay, with the APU on, guys, let's get that heat coming into the cabin. So bleed air on, and you're going to watch. You can see the cabin temperature will increase. As you can see, the bleed air there is going to go through the system, and it's going to go into the cabin and provide that hot air that we need to warm up. Otherwise, we are looking at a few lawsuits. Okay, you get what I mean, it's going to do it, so we'll just wait. Cool, come on people, get on board, let's go. 100% packed, fantastic. Let's get our programming done on this. Go to initialization and things, take off. So if you want to do the performance, you probably need to go back to excuse me, set. There we go. You change the weights then according to when you've got full passengers on board.
Alright, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
We will do, and by the way, just a little bit of a notice back there. She's gone. I was just going to tell her to strap in because it might be a bumpy ride on the departure, but she'll have to find that out the hard way, I guess. Right, so we've got 5 degrees of flat, 4.75 on the trim. And we're looking at 142 there for the V2 speed, which is not too bad to be honest. Oh, sorry, 148. Co-pilot just corrected me, thank goodness. In that case, let's add a couple more knots. So I'm going to add 158, add about 10 knots on there. And we'll do LNAV and VNAV arm, so we're ready for push and start now, pretty much. All systems are go, and let's turn these control surfaces on. You better hear the sound effect. It is a very, very subtle sound effect. I don't know if you can hear it or not.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Logo, beacon lights. We'll do the wing lights at the runway. APV there is on. Switch to that and get rid of the ground power.
Okay, all doors and hatch are closed. Ready to connect.
Throttles in the cut-off descent where they should be. The speed brake is retracted, flaps are up. Transponder, we'll just walk a random code today, so maybe we should just walk 1000, that'll be alright.
TCAS test. Pass.
Okay, so all the system checks have been completed, everything has passed as usual. Now the lighting is coming up a little bit. You can see here this PBR texturing that I'm talking about. I mean, it's just a pleasure to look at it, isn't it? When you get such a well-modelled plane and you get, you know, you can feel that love and care that's gone into it. It really makes it just overall a better experience.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
I'm not too sure, to be honest, so give me a sec. It's perhaps over there, and then we'll just figure out where the taxi lines are, because I can't quite see them at the moment.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Ready, parking brake.
Parking brake is released.
Start and pushback, and you may start engine.
Okay, spasibo большое. Spasibo большое. Let's go for number 2. Coming live. Get ready to introduce fuel, about 15%. Introduce fuel. Slide number 1 has started nice and well. Let's go for the say that the right engine. Number 2 started well. Let's go for a 1 engine start. Again, this one it might be a bit quicker starting up than the other one. Now we've got a bit of bleed air going through the system. There you go, fuel. engine is successful. In cold weathers like this and cold temperatures, the main problem... Okay, we've got fuel building up in the sensor. Let's just configure that. Fuel pump on. Crossfeed is good. Yeah, so in cold weather like this, obviously the main concern would be things like the oil temperature going low, the oil pressure going low, you know, or high for that matter, and anything that might indicate an ice buildup. And it might indicate a blockage, because that's a real problem. Real, and you know, we're not making that up. That is what will happen. So fuel lines can get blocked, hydraulic lines, brake lines, everything can get blocked because of ice. So as you can see, the system is good. We can switch the generators, the engines, get the packs on. Now hopefully the cabin will heat up a bit quicker. APU bleed air off, and I'm going to turn the APU off as well. Still very, very cold in there. It seems impossible actually to warm it up even with the air on maximum. So hopefully we're going to see an increase anytime soon. Okay, so it is slightly moving, it's just very, very slow.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Okay, brilliant. So we're going to do taxi light a sec when the gentleman's finished. We're the only ones here at Petrozavodsk. We're like almost at the edge of the world. We're quite far north. In the middle of nowhere almost. Okay, so let's get flaps to 5 just before we taxi. We have set the parking brake. I wonder why he's not disconnecting.
Disconnecting now. Please stand by.
There we go. Okay, cabin temperature's finally coming. The generators are good. Battery voltage is good. All the power from the gens are good. Inverters, test functions working.
Tower is disconnected, bypass pin has been removed. Send signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Specific assurance. Okay, so we're going to do taxi lights on. Wave the hand signal and we will taxi to runway 19, which is literally right there, so we're doing our takeoff check soon. Still got the ice formation on the windows there. It's a really nice touch. The window heat does work, as you saw earlier. A really good example of it. A good animation as well, as it actually melted off. I suspect that when it builds up the engines and the wings, that we can do the same thing on that. So we don't need it at the moment because I'm not going to be, you know, we're not taking off. There is some light snow at the moment, some light rain probably going to be coming when we get over Helsinki. Hey, hi Italy. Extremely cautious because it's so icy and snowy, so we've got plenty of it on the ground. If we've got any more, we've got a 15 knot limit on the ground here. I feel like even at that speed, even a little bit below that, we're going to be struggling with the ice. The main concern is skidding, of course. Right, flaps are set, let's do a control check. Ailerons, elevators are good. Okay, there's the runway. Let's get our strobes on and our wing lights. backtrack runway 19. Let's get our TCAS on, so transponder to TARA. Should barely be tuned onto the Unicom. Actually, let's get Unicom on to primary. Petrozavodsk traffic, Victor Papa Bravo Papa Kilo, backtracking runway 19 for departure to Helsinki. Oh yeah, you can feel the ice on this runway, the ice built up in the snow, because when I applied the brakes, you see, apply the brakes and there's literally no effect, so that would be because the aircraft is skidding a little bit. As you can see, the speed is building up, so if we put the brakes on, just applying a little bit of pressure is probably more effective in this case than putting a lot. Just apply a little bit of pressure and just hope it brings it down. So as you can see, it is in fact working. Just keep it within limits. There she goes, Pobeda, flight 6 out of Petrozavodsk. Okay, auto brakes somewhere. There they are, RTO. Auto brake is disarmed. It's probably a good thing. Until we take off, that is. Cool, so let's get our landing lights on. You see that snow, look at that. This reminds me of when I was on flight gear last year. When I first started doing the flight sim videos and I was on flight gear from, I can't remember where it was, it may have even been this airport. And there was really thick snow, and when you taxi through it like this is just absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The problem is, I think, with snow on X-Plane 12 is it doesn't stick long enough, so in places where you'd expect snow, it doesn't actually have it. You know, in places like Courchevel, they don't really have snow, even though it's covered with it at this time of the year. But this place, absolutely loving it. It's very much like Anchorage in Alaska. Except for its Russia, so it's even colder. Cool, so we're at the end of the runway, let's do a quick U-turn. There's the wind sight, we've got a nice headwind. It's recorded in the map. Let's see what the strength is. It's 6 knots, about 6 knots. So that gives a good lift. You're going to be able to see that cool handling in a sec. If you can do this turn without skidding. Cool handling of the level up. It's so smooth, and you don't really need that much input if you fly it well. Okay, runway 19 is established. Flaps are set, landing lights on, strobes on, continuous ignition. We have transponder walking TARA. We've got no signals from the tower at the moment. We have no radar calls. We have minimums are set. It looks like the weather is pretty clear. I can't see it on here unless the weather radar is. There we go, weather. So it's looking clear at the moment. Just the snow and a little bit, probably a little bit overcast when we get in there. With that right hand turn out. We're going to continue then to Helsinki, our first stop, and hopefully we get there in one piece. Cool, let's get going. And of course we'll rotate it to ER and then climb at 148 plus 10, 158, so thrust forward. Okay, take off RA. There we go. Is alive. There's 80.
80 knots. B1 rotate.
B1 rotate.
Positive rate. Gear up.
Coming up. It's awful weather here, can't see a thing.
400.
Struggling with the speed a little bit. Maybe I should have gone on max D rate, maximum rate for takeoff. Let's neutralise the gear early. Keep climbing. Okay, we're pushing through it a little bit, we're through the clouds. Climbing now on track, it's going to be now gone. The autopilot should be out. Autopilot on. Should still be climbing. Might be pitching down to increase the speed possibly. Let's just get rid of the autopilot a second. Autopilot is messing up a little bit. It's strange actually because of my test flight, it was flying pretty well with no issues. Yeah, no issues at all in test flight. Either way, we'll keep flying at this speed. With speed is picking up, let's retract the flaps. Forgot about that. Landing lights off. Yeah, speed is very confused. Should continue accelerating for the climb. It's saying 7,000, it's still not wanting to climb. Either way, let's just wait a sec. Let's do vertical speed. $2,200 feet a minute. Let's see if the autopilot can handle it. Anti-ice on. Very, very loud. The engine sounds also more realistic for some reason. Very distinct sound. I wonder if they will add a headset option. Not that it would actually help that much on a plane like this. You know, but it would still help. The cockpit is actually probably quite as part of the plane. You know, it's right at the front. It's quite far from the engines. I don't really know where you plug them in this. There's no obvious place. Either way, plane is climbing well. Let's go for standard pressure setting. And we'll continue to flight level 380. As I say, weather is looking clear on the way there. We just have to deprogram the arrival and figure out what it'll be based on winds and things. And obviously if there's ATC, they can give us it, which would be great. Looks like we haven't got any ATC at Helsinki, but we have got ATC available at Stockholm, so hopefully they'll still be online when we get there. It's a very, very short hop from Helsinki to Stockholm. It's not very far whatsoever. So the stop over there will be for a very short amount of time. This is the longest journey, and even this isn't that long. Like I say, about 50 minutes. Beautiful, beautiful views. Right, let's go ahead. I'm just going to guess the approach because the winds are... Winds are pretty calm actually. They're mostly northeast facing at Helsinki, so we could probably land straight into it if there's a runway facing towards us. Yeah, like I say, north in, then it's sort of easterly pushing winds. Let's check what runways there are. Let's get our charts open. So, Helsinki Airport. EFHK, here we go. Okay, we've got a few runways here, that's good. So if we wanted to land it into the wind, or at least have a headwind on landing, we could go for runway... Give me a sec guys, I'll turn the volume of that aircraft down a little bit. Yeah, we got a few options here, so... I was going to say 170, but so that's not the right way, so in our case it'd probably be 220, and left or right is our discretion, I guess, if there's no ATC. Based on what the wind is doing, maybe we're better off going for a left, and then we'll tune the ILS 110.3. Plane is still struggling with the climb though. We've not got ice build up. Maybe I was better off going for the maximum takeoff rate, the maximum climb thing. That might be what's causing this problem in the first place. Let's just put VNAV back on, that would help, and hopefully the aircraft can do it itself. See, it still wants to pitch down and descend. I don't get this about this plane. It should be climbing to flight level 380. So I think this is probably just because I've not flown the plane for a while. It's just a case of, even though I might remember all the startup stuff, when it comes to actually flying the route, some of the stuff I forgot, like the fact that you would have to enter that in there, click flight level change, etc. Just small things like that you can forget over time. Besides, I have been doing GA a lot lately, and commercial stuff is good. I mean, this aircraft has really been a nice treat to get into again. And I do like this one. You know, this is a 737 that I enjoy getting into and doing things with. And it's certainly the best one available. By far best one available. Laminars is great. Zebra mod is alright. In fact, no, the Laminar one's alright, and the Zebra mod is great. And then the level up one is a lot better. If you are looking for one, the level up one is free. And now version 2, excuse the dropping of things in the background. Throwing things all over the place. Yeah, so free to use, level 2 version 2. I think they've improved the textures the same, massive improvements in texture, sounds, just everything about it. Animations has been taken to a whole other level. Anyway, we've been distracted. So 110.3 for the ILS. We want 22 left. A few things here: copter, precision approaches, visual approaches. Okay, so category 2, we could do category 2 or category 3 on the 22 right. Again, it depends on visibility, but I think we're probably going to have a bit more light actually, because if you think about it, we're chasing the sun at the moment, so the sun will be setting in the west. So when we get to Helsinki, hopefully it will be light again. Anyway, category 2, we are approved for category 3 in this aircraft. And that is a really, really good chart. So easy to read because there's hardly anything on it. Brilliant. Steep approach though, 5.2. Looks like 3,000 feet of Bifix. And then we come down to 3,000 feet on a course of 217. GPDME paired localizer. And of course we've got the localizer frequency. Incredible. This is a really, really simple approach. If only more charts would be like this. Very, very easy to understand. Maximum speed 190 at 9 nautical miles. Minimum 150 until 4 nautical miles. So yeah. And there will be an RLS frequency, an RLS approach tutorial coming out on my channel soon if you are interested in that. It won't be in this 737. It'll be in a smaller aircraft, so it's easy to understand. But the principles still apply to this one as well. So let's go ahead and put our course in for 217 now, so we don't forget it into our course thing. Let's keep our heading on our heading. So 25. We'll change that to the runway when we get a bit closer. So 217, and we'll just bear in mind that 3,000 feet at maximum 190, so we'll probably be at Bifix at about 180 knots. So let's program that in here. Alright, let's 22 left, and transition wise we've got the VEPI 5 Alpha. That wasn't my charts and the flight plan, the VEPI, but we didn't know which one it was until now. Excellent, so let's execute that. For some reason, yeah, it's so close that we haven't even got time to go to 38,000 feet, which is insane. Absolutely insane. Barely got enough time to get up to 10,000. We'll see how it goes. Let's see what the top of descent is on the map. Yeah, not very far at all. Barely 150 miles. In that case, we're going to go up to flight level 340 instead. Hopefully this will keep climbing out to 340. The speed should increase, so wanting to descend for some reason again. I don't understand what it's doing today. It seems incapable of doing it. The speed things seems off as well, especially on the VNAV. Let's just check the cabin temp. Has it got better? We'll turn the seatbelt signs off. Okay, great. So now we've gone from being freezing to being 30 degrees in heat, which is pretty good. So we'll bring that temperature down back to automatic. Pressurization has been alright. We can adjust that to 34,000 feet. I think we're getting pushed around by the wind a little bit here. It certainly feels like it. You can sort of see the aircraft drifting. Now, I got like 47 knot crosswind, so it is pretty considerable actually if you think about that. Oh wait, you can even see the wings from here. Brilliant. And as I say, it's solid state. Its collision system in this aircraft is excellent. You know, the many payware don't do this, but they should do. And I think this is one thing that most developers, I don't know why they don't do it now, but they should still be doing this collision system on aircraft and prevent you from passing through walls and things. Anyway, there's the wing outside looking very good. Easy to see with the wing light on. Let's see if the captain's one's there. Yep, so good visual thing there, and I think, as I say, this ties into level up adjusting the physical thing of it. I think they've done something to the actual physical state of the aircraft. I could be wrong, but it feels like they've adjusted some of the dimensions and things, made them a bit more realistic, especially on the cabin windows. Again, I could be wrong. I need to go and look at the entire changelog of things that they've actually done. Let's just see it in the cinematic shots here. Absolutely glorious, and I'm going to do a short video on this actually to allow people to watch like a shorter version, but I'll do one. I'll call it, you know, level up version 2, and it'll be a couple of minutes long for you guys to see if you want a short video which just gets to the point of what's new and what isn't and what I like and dislike, and rather than having to watch the stream. And I do want to upload more videos this year. Part of the plan this year was obviously more videos to explore America, the north and south a little bit more. I want to do more flights in my own country, you know, England, the United Kingdom. I actually don't fly here that often on stream. It's only when I'm offline that I fly there, and I've done a few streams in the United Kingdom, but not many, to be honest. So there'll be more in the UK and some more specific missions, so focused missions and a bit more meaningful, I think, than just flying from A to B without any purpose. But usually we do have a purpose on Grenfell CPT. You know, we're usually flying clients, we're usually flying corporate. GA even has, you know, paying clients sometimes, and most of the times. And of course, I just bought myself a new plane. I'm really excited to introduce these things onto the channel. The channel is growing very, very rapidly. So thank you for that. It does mean a lot that you would spend your time here and watch both my streams and videos. It's very, very kind. And it just helps the channel out, you know, because I want to do this for a bit of fun, and it helps show that people are interested in it by getting involved, you know, and showing support. I'm still here with you guys. I'm just going to go ahead and get a drink. I don't know what it is with the speed today. Maybe the cost index was a bit too low on this one. But the speed just doesn't seem as high as it should be. Again, I haven't flown in this kind of a plane for a while, but I'm pretty sure we used to cruise higher speeds than this. It just seems a little bit off in terms of the handling today. Maybe it is the version 2 that's... maybe it isn't the version 2, maybe it was just always like this, but something does feel a little bit off about the handling and the autopilot in particular. Being a bit all over the place. Again, it could be because I forgot. So I'll be back in a minute. Hopefully the plane won't crash. Hopefully. There's no ice. There's no ice, we've got anti-ice on, so give me a minute, I'll be back. Okay, everybody, I am back into the cockpit. Got some nice coffee, some nice tea. Help yourselves today, it's all free. Courtesy Pobeda Airlines. Again, spasiba Yeshores for flying with me. Just leave with a pure tea. Soon we will be descending. Probably should do descent now actually, because the arrival's not too far off. I've just double checked down here, so we're expecting 3000 at Bifix, which is coming up 190 speed limit, but keep it above 150 until 4 nautical miles. You can actually see the distances there as well, which is really just a nice... that's not even a thing to do with level up, that's just the aircraft, isn't it? But it's just a nice thing to have in the aircraft, that distance on these FMCs. It's really helpful. So yeah, until we get to HKO2 it seems, then we can decrease below 150. Winds were pretty stable actually. They were a little bit less than I expected. They're similar to what I expected, but slightly less. The outside temperatures are also a little bit less than I expected. It's still very much a crosswind, but it is going to be turning into a headwind, tailwind any second. And that's going to push us through there for the final stretch. As you can see, when we're coming around. Hopefully for a decent approach. Right, let's get descending then. So we'll go down to about 12,000 feet. If we put VNAV on now, it should be able to descend down as expected. There we go. Just gonna idle the engines for this one. Idle the throttles. Okay, descent checklist. So we're gonna get the ATIS information. There is no ATIS information because there's no HC online. So in a situation like this, I'm just going to use the X-Plane map, guys. Another option again is on here. This is actually a better way to do it, I think. A bit more professional, isn't it? So weather, we have, you know, pretty good. 210 at 5 knots, not bad. We're going to be landing on 22, which is what I've planned for. Again, based on the wind direction, so we've planned perfectly for it. Broken, you know, clouds 200 feet. Excuse me, 002. And then QNH 1032. I got a bit of an issue going on with the air conditioning. So packs have tripped out. That can usually happen when you're not got enough airflow going through the engine. So in that case, you probably want to keep a little bit of throttle in there, because otherwise the engine won't have, you know, there won't be enough air going into the cabin and it will trip out. Well, again, the auto throttle kind of wants to cut it into idle anyway. Yeah, it's happening a lot today, isn't it? Let's keep an eye on that and just keep resetting it until we get there. Hopefully the auto throttle won't interfere. Let's turn the auto throttle off. Still tripping out. In that case, let's increase it to high pressure, so it de-ices the wings at the same time, and we will increase it a little bit more, but it's tripping it out still. Maybe we should decrease it and see if that helps. It's always tricky when this happens, and it seems to happen a lot on the sim. I don't know if this is a real life thing or not. Surely it doesn't trip out this much in real life. Surely. Otherwise, you know, there would be questions of safety, wouldn't there? The main concern is if it trips out and we don't notice, we will depressurize and yeah, we'll probably pass out because of the hypoxic at this altitude. So, you know, in that situation, that's bad, but again, I can't see imagine it tripping out that much in real life in a real 737. I haven't seen it like that in myself. Cabin altitude's actually pretty good at the moment, about 6,000 feet. Right, 1032, the QNH. Preset it there, ready to turn it on. Do an enunciation recall. Let's get the auto brakes on to for this runway. Again, I'm just concerned about ice and snow, so we'll go for number 1 on there. Sorry, number 2, and then we'll just apply manual braking. Probably not too vigorously if there's ice present, otherwise we will slide down the runway extremely quickly. lot of coughing people on this plane. I hope we're not carrying case 0 on board. Right, actually that's one thing I forgot to do, is cabin lighting can be changed on this aircraft. So if you go into ground services, and we could put it into different stages, so obviously we would need it, you can have it at night, but we're going into daytime anyway. I'm going to keep the area bright, and then we could put this on takeoff and landing, and then it will change the actual colours in the cabin. So if we go back in there now, you'll see how it's changed to this sort of glow, for this green glow, and that's very realistic, and it looks so awesome with the lights on. Look at that. If you weren't sold on Level Up by now, I mean, just look at this fidelity, guys. There's payware products that don't have it this good. You know, that's not a joke either. There's genuinely people paying money for this, not even this level of quality, and freeware just seems to keep blowing payware out of the water every time. I had a look the other day for an A320, believe it or not, and it seems like a very similar case over there. There's a lot of complaints about Airbus on X-Plane 12. I don't know if anybody's encountered that. But yeah, this is excellent, highly recommended. If you aren't sold, like I say, the sound is dependent on position of camera for some reason. But if you're not sold, look at this. Look at this absolutely gorgeous cabin. Miles better than default, miles better than Zebo. Just an absolute bombshell. In a good way, of course. I'm using the default view as well. The Level Up came with a default view, which was much better than what it used to be. I haven't changed it, and usually I would. So as I say, it comes pretty well built from default, and it's got all the settings in the right place, exactly where you would want them to be on the tablet. The seat position is actually in a really good place as well. I think they've done a good job with that. That's exactly where I'd put the seat position in my sort of camera viewpoint. So yeah, well done to Level Up on that. Excellent position in there. I'd say it's in the right place, but again, you could adjust that to your liking. You remember, guys, that the 737s, I've said it before, are very small cockpits. You know, they're not very big cockpits. On the sim, of course, they look quite big, and this looks like a lot of room here, but in real life, they are absolutely tiny. If you think a Cessna 150 is a small cockpit, you know, this thing isn't really that much bigger than a Cessna 150 cockpit, and I'm not even joking. It genuinely isn't. It's probably the size of a small bathroom, and I say that, you know, kindly. It's not an actual bathroom, guys. Don't be, you know, don't be pissing in your coffee cups or anything like that. Cool. Let's get the auto throttle back on. Let's see what the auto throttle is going to do. A few things popping up here with the green zones. Just got to keep an eye out for the red zones. Rock V and straight down to 10,000 at this point. We'll come in here and probably straight in for runway 22. There's a little bit of a disconnect there between. Let's just check our flight plan in the FMC. There's a slight disconnect there between where we're headed and where the runway is. The actual course for it is course 217 as we've set it. Let's change the heading there. Okay, a little bit more confusing actually. I don't know what that part is there. Maybe that's part of the go-around procedures. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a misalignment. Obviously the pink lines are not aligned, so from this one over here we can go straight to Bifix. Yeah, for some reason it's giving us vectors. Let's just go straight there. I'm not dealing with the G-loaded camera anymore. I'm just going to turn it off when it starts to get annoying. It's started to become really annoying lately. It's quite a pain. So again, still a bit of an issue. Bifix. Hopefully that should clear the issue. Okay, yeah, so a nice straight in. We should probably descend then right down, because we're pretty much there to 3,000 feet. Continue descending at a slow rate, I guess. Seatbelt signs on. Let's make the announcement. Is descending. Maybe not. Helsinki traffic, Victor Papa Bravo Papa Kilo is descending to 10,000 feet. Expecting the Bifix transition for the ILS of runway 22. I cannot see a single thing. So it's category 2 approved. I think it's 22 right, that's category 3. If we can't see anything a bit lower down, we may have to transition to runway 22 right for category 3 approach. Judging by the weather there, it probably will be a category 3, so that's a little bit of a pain in the ass. Excuse me. Just because I wanted to go on 22 left, that's literally the only reason. 110.7. As I say, we'll wait till we're a little bit lower down and we'll judge it a little bit there. So it's 3,000 feet. Hey, 179 feet. The landing altitude. I think today, actually, guys, judging on the time it's taken us to get just to this first airport on the weather conditions, we probably can't do a full return trip, which means what we'll do is just continue on after this to our planned destination of course, Stockholm, and then we'll terminate at Stockholm, and we'll just say that it was weather that cancelled the flight like usual. commercial operations do that, everybody. They do cancel because of the weather. It's actually quite severe at the moment. So we'll get to Helsinki, then we'll continue to Stockholm, and then we'll terminate, and I'll do the return flight on another stream, provided people are interested in it. Okay, we got a strange little round circle thing going on there on the approach. Yeah, the actual go-round, as you can see, is a curve out here. Wonder why that is. I think in this part of the world, though, generally, I don't know if it's just the Scandinavian countries or not, but there's a lot. It feels like they operate in a very environmentally friendly way. So they, you know, have restrictions on performance and keep the noise level down, and even the go-round is out here, so it's like avoiding the city, I guess. Okay, altimeters are set. Let's get our landing lights on. I have no idea what's going on there. That time there, this could be a bug, but the time there is correct for me, and then this one is not changing at all. It seems to be stuck at 5 o'clock. Date and time, the year seems fine. It's just that other one that seems a little bit off. Again, still pitch black, can't see a single thing. I literally can't even see the plane when I'm outside it. That's how dark, that's how bad it is. Jesus. I can't even see the plane, guys. Ah, there we go. Imagine if you landed in this, you would be scared to death. Let's go for a flight level change. We need to get down pretty quick, so 7,000 feet. Descent down to 3,000. Let's arm our speed brake. In this case, I've had trouble with my hardware, so Honeycomb hardware is great, but when it comes to doing things like that, it won't do it properly, which is a little bit of a pain. Yeah, still making that noise. Yeah, it's not gonna do it. Even manually it seems to be struggling. So yeah, it seemed to be kind of clear of the rough weather, but we're coming out of the cloud. We're not really out of the clouds, you know, it's in the area, but we're descending through them. Really rough weather there at Helsinki Airport. This is going to be a difficult one, guys. It really is. Let's just crank the lights down as well. We don't want to be too distracted by this bright light stuff. We're going to keep the anti-ice on because of the conditions. So let's go ahead and drop a notch of flaps. One flap. And again, we'll set the 180 for the, obviously, the limitation that's in place. Okay, it's got an issue there with the speed. I think this is just all problems with the level up version 2, because version 1 didn't have this. So I'm hoping they get ironed out soon. Again, it could just be because I've forgotten how to operate the plane. But I'm pretty sure when you do that, that should turn the speed thing on. Even without level change. You know, it should still be clickable. Okay, we just rapidly slow down. Approach speed. Let's go ahead and get that. That's interesting. So 40 degrees of flaps are probably needed. I'm going to go 140. We'll add 5 knots into that. Maybe 6 knots. So 148 with 40 degrees of flaps. And now it's got that trim issue. So the Z-build mod also has that. That's partly why I didn't use the Z-build mod anymore. But that trim issue about keeping it on track, and the level up never used to have this issue either. It would be pretty still actually in terms of the trim wheel. Let's get 5 degrees of flaps. Okay, just before landing checklist, let's do enunciation recall. The landing lights on continuous ignition still. I think we just forgot to turn that back off, didn't we? Back to automatic. Transponder's still on, seatbelt signs are on. Landing lights are on. I'll give them a call soon. I'm hoping there's no traffic in the area because we've not got any alerts coming up. According to his display map, there is people there. I can't imagine anyone is going to land opposite the wind. We're not quite into the wind, but you know, as good as we can get. This guy looks like he might be landing on that runway there, which is with a tailwind. Again, I'm not too sure what he's doing. Runway 15. We're going in 22 left. Let's hope we can get ATC or at least hear some comms on the radio. There's standard pressure crossing the threshold, so 1032. I want to give them a call out, but I'm still not hearing any comms from anybody. If this guy's landing on 15, again, I'm not sure what the logic is there with the tailwind coming in. It doesn't really suit, to be honest. If you're going to land, it might have even been better to go 3-3. Let's tune that to nav 2 in case we need it. Nice gossip in the background. Yeah, that guy landed 15. We're going to be cutting across from 15 to 22. I don't really know where we're going to park. There's plenty of spaces there. We don't need long park. We just need to drop off and pick up for the next flight. So we can probably get off. Is that Zulu Juliet? So we can probably get off by there. And hopefully we can stop in time. If not, we'll just continue to wherever we need to and get off and just find what an empty space to jetway or something.
1,000 to go.
Okay, 1,000 feet. We're actually doing alright on speed. So the wind's calmed down considerably. 7 knots. 7 knots isn't too bad. I think our deceleration point, so we got reference speed down there, 148. Oh wow, Helsinki everybody, look at that. You can just about see it through the snow. Welcome to Helsinki, a temporary stop, maybe the end of the journey actually, considering how bad this weather is. I don't even think we should attempt it on to Stockholm. But then again, Stockholm usually is a nice experience for everybody, isn't it? Right, we got 10 degrees of flaps, 3,000 feet. I think that's the approach height, so 3,000. Yeah, then we'll intercept the glide slope at 3,000 feet, so Bifix. We'll just maintain that speed, so above 150, below 100 and 190 until 4 nautical miles. Pray to God the ATC works, everybody, and not the ATC, the autopilot. It seems to be having a few hiccups compared to what it was previously like. So, fingers crossed, there's no issues. On 7 on the course. Helsinki traffic, Victor Papa Bravo Papa Kilo is inbound on the ILS for the runway 22 left. Let's get 15 degrees of flaps. Having a little bit of issue there with the auto throttle, so we might as well take control of it ourselves. Hopefully it'll kick back in. There we go. Yeah, so it's kind of looking a little bit of like a category 3 approach at this point. We should really arm the approach mode. There you go, so single channel. We haven't got auto land. We're going to go in anyway and attempt this little thing. If it fails, guys, I'm going to circle back and do a 2-2 right. Again, just based on the wind. If we were actually landing for the wind, we'd probably land on 3-3, but yeah, it's looking just awful, isn't it? There's our distance there from the runway. As you can see, we have approximately 8 nautical miles to go. And we're going to slow our speed down, so I'm using the speed thing in this case, and we're going to use... I'm going to put a couple of knots extra, so 150. Gears coming down. The go-around height will be 3,000. Flaps 25. Autopilot keeps disconnecting with the auto throttle keeps disconnecting with the flaps get put down. Oh, come on, clear up. I guess this is kind of bordering on category 2. I don't want to try and justify that to anybody, but I guess, you know, we can see a light down there, so that's good enough for me. It's probably not even that bad, to be honest. When we get there, we can probably see it very clear. Anyway, full flaps. We're going to slow down now, right down to 150, and we'll maintain that speed till final, until we get the short final, and we'll decrease it. 4 nautical miles out, so we'll decrease to about 148. Speed brakes, check, armed. Auto brake 2, go around height set, established ILS 2 to the left. Seatbelt signs, continuous ignitions, we have landing lights. Transponder's good.
Feet stabilised. Mr. Approach altitude set.
Thank you. At least he reads it back to you. Okay, we're kind of approaching a bit of a dangerous speed. There's the runway, guys. We can see it a little bit far off in the distance. I'm going to continue on autopilot for now. There's minimums. We should probably disconnect it. Let's keep it on a little bit longer. I want to get a little bit of a better visual here. Can't see anything. Autopilot disconnected.
500.
The winds are extremely stable. There's practically no wind here, so this is going to help a lot.
300. 200.
We didn't set minimums, but we're going to continue anyway. If the auto throttle is still on, that's my mistake. We have to continue, because we can see it.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay. Reversers and spoilers. Bumpy runway here at Helsinki. Straight down the centre line, ladies and gentlemen. Grantham CVT, you cannot teach it. You're either born a natural or you're not. Absolutely brilliant landing. Welcome to Helsinki. Temporary stopover. Don't get too cold. Go and get a coffee, tea, some biscuits, popcorn, whatever it is you're drinking. You just saw how long it took to stop as well. So it just goes to show how icy it actually is out here on these runways. Very, very dangerous. Let's disengage the reversers and try and get off semi-safely. We're going a little bit fast. A little bit fast at the moment for the turn off. Okay, flaps and spoilers retracted. Let's get landing lights off. Takes lights on. Transponders to ground only. Wing lights should be on and the logo light should be on as well. When we exit the runway, we'll turn the wing lights off. And of course watch the replay. Great landing though, really good. Considering how bad that weather was, it was actually extremely calm when we got down, and the visibility wasn't detrimental in the end. It's just the runway, the actual shape of it, you know, a bit like a roller coaster. A little bit like a roller coaster. Yeah, aircraft is really struggling with these brakes. Come on. Cool, we're taxi to jetway, so strobes off, wing lights off, turnout lights off. Helsinki traffic, Victor Papa Bravo Papa Kilo, clear runway 22 left, taxiing terminal via Zulu 9. Отлично. Добро пожаловать, братишка. Welcome in. If you're just joining me, by the way, I usually fly GA. I've been flying more GA lately. I'm trying to integrate the airliner, but it just isn't very popular. I mean, it is on YouTube. People love airliners, but for some reason when I do it, you know, it doesn't get as much popularity. So I'd rather stick to what I enjoy more, which is definitely GA stuff. This is great, and I do enjoy doing a good landing now and again, you know, getting things right, but it's just very, very slow when you've got like a 4-hour flight, for example, and you just sat behind a computer most of the time, and it's you know, even a real aircraft, it's going to be difficult. It's just the same old stuff, isn't it? You know, there's not really much adventure in this cockpit, but in a Cessna you can have a lot more fun. You can do stalls in it and everything. Yeah, so it looks like Petrozavodsk was full of snow and ice. The same thing in Helsinki, so it's most likely going to be same conditions in Stockholm, Sweden. I think we've covered probably more ground in this flight than an actual Pobeda has in the last year over Europe, because obviously can't. All the flights from Russia have been banned, haven't they? They're not allowed, so the Pobeda airline doesn't even fly to these places anymore. Right, there's a terminal next to the A320. I'm hoping we can drop these off and get people loaded up quick for the next flight. We're going to take a 5-minute breather. Of course, we are going to watch the replay and stick around after that for the next leg. It's very hard, as I say, it's impossible to see these taxi lines. We can see it just there, but it's making it a lot more difficult without clear ground. Every little bit of movement by the rudder as well is causing the aircraft to skid a little bit. So yeah, very, very challenging environment. Thankfully we don't have holdover time because there's no we might do a gas to put de-icing on it, but it shouldn't take too long. Okay, transponder to standby. Let's just squawk 7,000 for the meantime. I'm hoping we can load another flight plan in without turning this thing off again. GPU needs to get connected, doesn't it? So let's call that. Flight controls, the APU. We don't need the APU, we're going to get the ground power. Let's go ahead and get ground power now while we can. Ground power connected, disconnected from the plane's engines, generators. Ignition off. I'm going to leave all the other lights on, return the beacon off when the engine's off. Packs off. Gotta remember how to do this properly. We're gonna leave it in standby mode. Wonder if we should leave the pitos on. We'll leave the window heat on and see if that helps. Ground power. So I think that's pretty much it, isn't it? Then we just cut the fuel off. Anti-collision light off. Jetway should hopefully connect. Let's see the parking. So the parking's actually a little bit over the line. Oh well. We'll live. Jetway can still connect. Here it comes. Okay, time for the moment of truth, everybody. Now, Level Up does seem to have a better rating system on landings than the Zebo mod did. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm just bad at landing. Okay, approach rating. I'll take that. I'll take that. And then excellence. Oh wow. Well, there you go, everybody. You saw it. Grantham CPT, Average approach in that weather, but a 5-star landing just goes to show actually that you can't teach that. I know I'm not just mimicking mimicking previous streams where I've done a good landing. Right, we'll let for the passengers unload, and then we'll continue on our next flight. Let's just terminate. I don't know if that will get rid of the packs or not. They're onboarding. I'll see you in about 5 minutes, and you know, obviously we'll watch the replay first. Really, really good though. 5-star landing, excellent. First time back in this for ages as well. Not flown this month. Smooth touchdown, straight down the centre line. That was quite impressive, actually. I'm going to screenshot the rate in there because if I tell people, they're not going to believe me. Anyway, screenshot that landing rating, and obviously the replay will be on the stream available after as well. Right, guys, it's only going to be 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and do the second sector, the second hop then to Stockholm. So everybody get some tea. I'll see you in 5. Okay everybody, Captain Grumpum CPT is back. I hope you enjoyed that quick 5-minute refresher with some nice tunes there, a nice little song. Courtesy of YouTube Music actually, a lot of good music on there. Available free, copyright free. So yeah, we're going to continue Pobeda Airlines to our final destination today of Stockholm. I think it's probably best to terminate there. Oh, rather than continue back to Petrozavodsk, just because of the weather we've had on the way here. It's unlikely that, you know, I don't want to push it in this kind of weather. We shouldn't really be flying in icing conditions, but it's not too bad here. You know, it's bad here, but it's not too bad on the ground. So I'm hoping when we get out of this area, it's going to clear up. Well, again, it's just a weather thing. I'm not too concerned at the moment. And as you can see, so we've turned the window heat off, and within a matter of time, for some reason the cockpit's gone dark. We should have ground power on. Yeah, but within a matter of time, the thing clouded up. Got a little bit of traffic here. So it looks like somebody else is landing 22 left. So we did land on the right runway. I thought we did because the wind's in that direction. Well, any wind that exists there is in that direction. Really good landing though. I hope you enjoyed that replay. 5 stars. So what we're going to do now is we're going to load up for the next service. People are still deboarding, believe it or not. That's how slow they are. In that case, we've got time then to go onto our Avi tab, and we're going to use the chart. So I have just downloaded the flight plan now. We've got it all programmed in. What's this? Outputs, flight management system. So ESA is the destination. I think that's the end destination. Arlander. Give me a sec, everybody. I want to make sure we're flying to the right place here. Yeah, so ESA, I've actually flown there before a while ago. I don't know if anybody remembers that. So flight level, planned optimum flight level. We're only going up to 0300 is 30,000 feet. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, usually just used to seeing it with an FL at the front of it. It just says it's in steps. So we need fuel. So block fuel 7450. I have actually taken quite a lot of contingency fuel. I know it says 15 minutes there, but we've taken a lot of extra fuel on board, so we've got more than we need. As you can see, the trip fuel is only 2100. Then we've got our extras and alternates, and it comes to 7450. So let's get that cracked in. 7450. Again, just have to flick through here to get it. So that's block fuel. We need the weight and balance as well. 158. So it looks like we've got about 20 more people in this flight. It's a bit more popular. 3900 of baggage. So 158 of 3900. About the same amount of baggage on board, to be fair. 3900 and 158. Activate. Call fuel truck. Hopefully that will put the jet back, the jetway back. Right. Let's get the flight plan programmed in. IRSs are already aligned. We don't need to do anything with those. So we just need to put this into there. Let's bring it up on the pop-up display here, so I can go and look at it in the FMS. So 22 right. I'm going to take 22 left just because we took off on that one. Then again, there are landing planes, so we've got no choice. 22 right then. Devo 3 November departure. So we've got some SIDs, and then we'll have some stars when we get there. So SIDs are abbreviations for something called Standard Instrument Departure, and they're a type of departure flown by airliners, instruments, flight rules, and they have a lot of altitude and speed restrictions, and they tell you to fly to certain waypoints. And it's the same thing with the arrival. A star arrival is a standard arrival procedure, and that is the same thing that airliners do. So they will have altitude and speed restrictions, and they will coordinate the aircraft into waypoints. And as the aircraft gets closer to the airport, it will transition from stars to a sort of type of approach that it's doing. So it could be an ILS like we did today. It could be an RNAV approach, an RMP. It could be a visual approach. Very rarely though, because airliners are always flying instruments, so I don't really know what airlines would fly visual approach. I've never seen it. Maybe a turboprop, but even though flying instrument approaches. So, Echo Foxtrot, Hotel Kilo. And by the way, you can tell I'm flying Pobeda because I keep putting NK in there, and of course, in Russian, the N is, it looks like an H. Anyway, we're going to do that, and we're going to do ESSA for the arrival. Pretty simple thing to do, actually. We're not flight 6 today, we're actually 85 on the route to ESSA. You can save that as a company route. Going to departures next, as of course select the runway, so 22 right, and then you need to put the SIDS in, so you can see it there, SIDS, and it was the D3 November. So because we've got outdated information, it's interesting because the level up one seems to have the more updated information than the sim brief. It's usually the other way around. Brilliant. So yeah, we put that in, we go back to route, then I say go on to arrival and put that in. So we got 19 right. See what kind of arrival that's going to give us. So 19 right is probably looking like another ILS, unsurprisingly. It might be a category 3, as I say, category 2 or 3, depending on the conditions. The is that a Z, like a Zilan, or I can't pronounce that. 3 November. That is in there. So once you've done that, everybody, click activate, execute. You know, check your legs, make sure there's no brakes. Clear those brakes up. Make sure there's no gaps. And of course, you can adjust your arrival and approach when you get there. After that, you want to go back to your home page, go to perform initialization. In fact, let's just check. Are they loading people up? No, they're not. So let's get them on board. Hopefully the jetway will come back. Anyway, cargo packs are loaded in, no jetway for them to come back on board. Oh well. So go back to here, perform initialization. So we can't do some of the weight things, but we can do planned fuel, and we can do cost index, which is important. As you can see, our planned fuel is trip fuel 2139. In that case, just put 22 in. Thinking how to do it. It's 2.2, isn't it, for tons? As you can see, they're about 5.3 on reserves. That's not the exact number, guys. You know, it's just an estimate. Cost index. So this is usually found at the top of a flight plan. People do struggle with a cost index. I used to struggle with it. Basically, it just tells you what the airline permits this aircraft to fly at in terms of operating speeds and performance things and limitations. So cost index that's lower is going to result in a lower performance. That's probably why it was so bad on the way here, because it was quite a low cost index, and it's only 14 to Stockholm. So when it's at a number like that, that's not. I don't like it when it's that low personally. I prefer to fly with cost indexes in the 20s or even 30s, and you'll be on a Boeing 747 and the cost index will be in the hundreds, compared to a 737 where measly 14 is just pathetic from an operating point of view. You know. Zero fuel weight. Right, the lady's making an announcement, so we better crack on. Altitude today, as I say, flight level 300. Okay, cruise winds. Let's go to our important cruise wind page. So here we go, guys. Top of climb. Very important information that you do actually need. So 30,000. We have 302 at 40 knots. It's important because it helps the aircraft to calculate better numbers. I hope I've entered that incorrectly. 040, so the cruise wind. And then the top of climb 080, so that's the outside air temperature, and it's given us at 30,000 feet, minus 54. Which is freezing, of course. So we need ice protection. Yeah, that's that. You might even check the other page and just adjust these speeds as you want to. You can adjust them, but usually people leave them as they are. Okay, we're going to leave the performance just a little bit longer, and we're going to just do a few more checks here. So let's get these on to flight directors. This won't come online yet because they're not programmed in. We're going to do 1,000 feet for takeoff, and we won't forget the minimums on landing this time. So apologies about that. 1,090 on the minimums and takeoff. And we're going to go 5 degrees flaps, I think, and probably max rate on everything. Max rate climb, max rate takeoff. 30,000 feet. Cabin temperature's cooling down again. Time to kick the APU on early, I think. Cabin lighting. Let's try night mode. And then when we get to the runway, we put it on takeoff. But yeah, look at this reflective work down here with these lights. They really, even the floor looks more realistic. And this thing, again, we didn't check it in flight, but this definitely does lock, and you definitely can enter a number on there, or so I did last time. I'm wondering if they've removed it or something. No idea if they have or not. Cockpit looks great from this distance. Really realistic, actually. Probably the most realistic looking plane. It feels like you're walking into an actual plane here. And as I say, the cockpits are not that big. I think some of this is just appearing big because it's a sim, but yeah, brilliant. Absolutely worth it. That'll be the APU kicking online. When the wipers work. Let's look at those SID charts. So here we got these SID's departures. So 22 right, 12. Let's check that. A little bit more information on these ones than the arrival. So we're going E westbound, aren't we? Devo 4 November. Well, that's just the headings of things, isn't it, on the departure? So yeah, it looks like we're going runway 22, and then a little bit of a right-hand turn there to 283, and then on the left turn to 257. So what we'll do then was to set the course for 257 rather than 257 on departure. There's a bit of lag on my end. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing that. 257. Yeah, we'll follow that, and then we'll go to the departure, and there's an altitude restriction, I think, on this. So we just go back to legs. We can see down here. Obviously, the chart will tell you as well. So it'll tell you sometimes on the altitude. So flight level, 19.5. It's really not a long flight. The same as the one. This is even shorter, actually. We probably won't get up to 30,000 feet. It's unlikely. But yeah, you can see the right hand and then left hand turn there, and then we'll just continue that. They're working. APU's online. The APU is the auxiliary power unit in the back of the plane. I showed it to you earlier, but this thing back here, the hole is the exhaust, and that's the auxiliary power unit. It's sort of like a small jet engine, and it powers the aircraft when the engines aren't running or when you've not got ground power connected. It's also a way to provide not just electrical power, but air conditioning as well. That's why we have a bleed air on here. and that should hopefully keep the cabin and things warm when we wait. If we don't have, you know, ground power or an air conditioning thing on the ground, we can use the APU, but most airliners use them anyway, even if they've got those services available. So they will use the services on the ground and then they will turn the APU on at the same time or something like that. But I don't know what the practices are on the bigger ones. Okay, but we forgot to do this on departure, but this is also important. So, the runway conditions, the acceleration height, the slopes, runway wind, etc. You can get the runway wind. If we go back onto the flight thing here, just want to make sure you guys understand what this is. You will find a takeoff page with the information on it. So, takeoff on landing, takeoff data, so 1033 on the QNH, let's just put that in. We want the wind, so wind is 211 at 5, so we can put that in. The runway wind, there. As I don't know what the slope is,
Helsinki traffic, Finnair 15, stabilize, localizer to runway 22 left.
Brilliant. It's good to see that they're actually all coming in on 22 left now as well. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, so yeah, we've got the wind, we've got the sort of bleeds on wet runway. Let's change that to wet.
Alright, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm trying to look for the information. I don't really know where it is on there, to be honest. We can just skip it, I guess. I've skipped it many times before, guys. Some of this information you don't even need to put in. It won't actually affect the performance on the sim. It might do in the real world, so obviously just follow the real world ones if you're on it. Don't follow the sim ones. Right, we need performance again. Initialization, so 0 fuel weight. Transition altitude 5,000 feet. Top of climb things are good. It's only giving us 25,000 for some reason, so probably because we're going too high for this route. Gonna go maximum rate on takeoff. A little bit of a trim nose down there, so 425. And we have, so V1 is the point of no return, the point when the aircraft can't stop and it's too fast and it has to take off. VR is rotate, which means that the aircraft is now fast enough to lift off into the air, and V2 is a safe sort of climb out speed, so you climb at V2 plus, you know, between 5 and 10 knots, so about 155. Let's go ahead and put that in. Can just put the V2 speed of 145 as well. Okay, we're ready to, I think, push and start. Again, there's a little bit of lag in here. I don't really know what's causing it. APU generators are on, the control surfaces are off. Let's get the fuel pumps on. And let's get the pushback.
Ground to complete. Tow is driving up.
Okay, we're going to plan our taxi.
Traffic, Finnair 15, short final runway 22 left.
Brilliant, so we're going to do a taxi here. Let's say we're going back down Alpha Kilo Zulu. Zulu Sierra, cross 04 right, Sierra, and then down to... actually, we're better off going that way, aren't we? So,
okay, all doors and cars are closed. Ready to connect.
Alpha Tango, Alpha Victor. Papa Golf, Golf, and then hold short 22 right. See, VNAV's coming alive now, brilliant. Get the airport chart up for ourselves. So AviTab is very useful. It's a plugin. It is a plugin, but it's the essential plugin for the flight sim. It can contain all your charts from either ChartFox, which is what I use, or Navigraph. It's just absolutely excellent for organising that stuff. Okay, so we got a bit of a better map here with the picture of sails on it. So you can see the runway, Victor Golf, and then Golf, and then Whiskey Golf, holding Whiskey Hotel 22 right. In fact, probably Whiskey Golf.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Okay, let's push back on there.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Pushing back onto what are we pushing back on here? Victor Juliet. What stand are we at? I have no idea. Usually there'd be a number, so W46. That's not very useful. Whiskey 46. Helsinki traffic. Victor Papa Bravo Papa Kilo is pushing back from Whiskey 46 to taxiway Victor Juliet. No idea if anybody cares what I just said, but we'll do it. We'll see what happens. Okay, right, released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Yeah, let's go for a number 2 engine. So, ignition on. Of course, flight controls as well. You see the engine there, 15% with push the lever, and that will introduce fuel to the combustion, and then it will sustain itself from that point on unless we cut the fuel off.
Helsinki traffic Finnair 15, after landing, runway 22 left, vacated.
Okay, that's started. Let's get that on ignition continuous. Going to go for one engine now. It's looking pretty good though, no problems just yet. And again, we're just keeping an eye on for any, blockages because of the cold weather. So high pressure would indicate there may be a blockage. Low blockage could, low pressure could also indicate a blockage, but a different kind of problem.
Vanta traffic, Finnair 556, taxi to runway 22 right. Vanta.
Brilliant, we got someone else going 22 right with us. This is excellent. I'm hoping we're going to give it a call out. It's actually easier to read this map than the chart.
Finnair 15, starting taxi via Zulu, Juliet, Zulu, Victor, Kilo.
Yeah, there's a few issues here, so we pushed back on, according to explain now for Tango, I thought we were going to be pushed back onto Victor Juliet. My mistake, everybody. Anyway, Alpha Victor it is to runway 22 right. So let's set our parking brake. Engines are all good.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Ignitions are continuous. We're going to do generators on the engines. Let's just get the cockpit and cabin secure here before we get going. The pitot heats can come on. Let's get the packs on, and I should have opened the isolation valve actually before the APU came on. Automatic on that, APU bleed air can come off, and APU can come off as well. This is just excellent. It absolutely is excellent. This is as close as you're going to get to an airliner. You know, if you are a pilot, real world commercial pilot, and you want the home based equivalent, and you're a 737 pilot, go for this one because it is just perfect. This is like the tallest of the 737s. Free to use.
Tow is disconnected.
Link will
and
be in
bypass
the
bin has been
description,
removed.
probably.
Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time, and have a safe flight.
There's the plane behind us, so we're going to continue down here, and we'll give them a call out and let them know our taxi route. So we'll taxi in 22 right, Alpha Tango, Alpha Victor, Papa Golf, and then Golf Whiskey Hotel. Very, very busy though at this airport, considering there's no ATC available. Okay, there's the hand signal. Thank you very much. We will return here in the future, everybody. Yeah, we forgot our beacons. There's been a few slip-ups today, a few mistakes on my end. Probably because I'm not flying with co-pilot, to be honest.
Air 556, taking off runway 22 right on the Ring 4 November departure.
Ah. Let's see where he's going then. Ring 4 November departure. Very cool. I can see where everyone's going this way. It's a little bit of a cheat. There he goes. He's going down to the sort of southeast. We're going over to the west. Helsinki traffic, Victor, Papa, Bravo, Papa Kilo, taxi into 22 right via Alpha Tango, Alpha Victor, Papa Golf, Golf, and holding short 22 right. But let's get going. We'll put the flaps down, get the flight controls a check. Symmetrical deployment of the flaps. Just checking the flight controls again. We got 5 degrees coming down together. Plane has vanished. I think the other plane's buried in the 747. Brilliant. Let's get the auto throttle armed. So again, the auto throttle is on the MCP, but it's a distinctly separate system. The auto throttle is not controlled by the autopilot; it's controlled by its own system. So yeah, you can have one without the other. Meaning that if the auto throttle fails, you can use the autopilot. You know, it's not going to impact it. And likewise, if the autopilot fails, you can still probably use the auto throttle as long as that doesn't fail too. Anyway, I think this is about our turn. On to Victor Charlie, is it? No, Victor Golf, and then it would be Papa Golf. Cross 22 left. We're about to cross a runway here, and this is an active runway, so we're going to get our strobes on. Wing lights on. Let's get our transponder back to 1000 for the squawk code, and we'll put mode Charlie. Helsinki traffic, Victor Papa Bravo Papa Kilo, crossing 22 left, continuing 22 right. Again, we just make sure it's clear. This is active, so we've had a departure, which is now clear the area. And there are no arrivals there off to our right hand side. Let's go ahead and put the takeoff lights on. It does look like it's clearing up actually. That snow and ice is not so prominent over this side for some reason, but that's even better for me though for departure. There's Whiskey Golf 22 right in sight. We are going right up to Whiskey Golf for the hold. Just in case there's any aircraft, we are pretty much ready to go here, so let's go ahead and put our transponder on. We've already got our strobes on and our wing lights are already on as well. I'm assuming that they're going to prepare their cabin. Flaps have been set. Takeoff lights on. Again, we're just going to climb on the departure there, so we got an initial course and then we'll turn to 257. A little bit more effective on the braking at this side as well. So just double checking the departure. Again, initially 283. Let's set 283 on the course of the head-in, so we know where we're going. So 283. And that's going to be our outbound course. Very, very slow turn though. And then again, we'll go up to the course there. And then that'll be the departure sort of section complete. As far as limitations go, there's not really anything obvious there. There's no obvious speed restrictions or even height restrictions in the area, so meaning we can just climb straight up to our cruise altitude because there's no AC to command us at the moment. Cool. Minimums have been set. Co-pilot, please give me a call back and just confirm everything is good on the runway. Give me a call out for about 80 knots, will you? Helsinki traffic, Victor Papa Bravo Papa Kilo departing runway 22 right on the Devo 4 November departure. It's as good as my ATC skills are going to get. Again, just checking for no other traffic. You never know, somebody might want to land here. Just keep our speed nice and slow for the turn. It is still a little bit wet outside. Yeah, struggling with the turn. Overshot that one, didn't I? Okay, we're lined up, established 2 right, just about. Can't see the writing very clearly. That's so cool, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Takeoff, go around for us. Airspeed alive.
$80 knots.
Thrust check.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
gear coming up.
Gear up.
Thank you. Okay, there we are, departing Helsinki. We're going to continue climbing now on the departure. Not going to touch anything at the moment. Just going to continue hand flying it. I'm going to do that turn there to 283. Nice and early.
1000.
Not too steep on the turn though. Okay, 1000. Let's bring our flaps up to 1. Continue accelerating now to 230 knots. Flaps fully up. Okay, now we can turn to our course of 257. Thank you, co-pilot. Aircraft is struggling actually with the lift on this one. There must be
1000 to go.
usually performance would be improved in cold conditions, but there's something going on here which is affecting it considerably. Let's set our cruise altitude then of 30,000 and see what happens. We should be still accelerating. Looking good. Right, the plane's alright, it's kind of handling it semi-decently, I guess. Let's click on the autopilot. Autopilot doesn't want to engage, so let's try one more time. Autopilot keeps tripping out, plane is out of control. There's definitely something going on the autopilot, wasn't previously in the level up 737. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Right, straight to our departure of Devo. Yeah, there's definitely something going on. Before it used to work pretty flawlessly actually and there'd be no issues, but now it's having issues with all sorts of things, with climb performance, with thrust settings. As you can see, it should be continuous thrust during a climb, but it's just not doing it. I know we are pitching down a little bit. Plus the trim setting gave us 4.25, but actually it probably should have been pitch nose up rather than nose down. Standard pressure. Definitely something going wrong with that because it won't engage. Failures aren't engaged either, I don't think so. Yeah, something's messing it up, isn't it? Can't hand fly it the whole way, that's not practical, is it? Right, now lever chain's engaged. Got a real big issue here, guys. At the moment, can't hand fly through this weather. Anyway, landing lights off. Automatic ignitions. Yeah, it took a long time then for that flight level change to kick in. So yeah, it's now finally putting that climb power in, which it should have been doing before, which is again strange. If you go back, actually, go back if you want to see a comparison of my other streams on this level up, and you'll see the difference in the performance on the autopilot, especially the thrust setting. Something is causing it to disengage. I would have no idea what it is. Sales taxi in 22. Well, I guess we can hand fly it. This is going to be interesting. We just fly the whole route hand flown. Cabin temperature is good. The flight controls are on. Let's get the anti-ice on. I'll have to test this a little bit more offline, everybody. I'll test it offline and see how it goes. Oh my goodness, is it really? Oh no. Thank you so much. What a fool. Thank you, German flight simmer. Dankeschön for the Hilfe. Well, I was going to say Dankeschön, Dankeschön, but it's not working still. Your dumper was off, you are correct. That was my mistake. I'm surprised I didn't realise that earlier. It must have tripped off when the ground power got disconnected, or when it was reconnected. Still having issues though. Did you have any idea though what it, if it's not the yaw damper, any idea what it might be? Everything else looks pretty solid. I don't think I've not flown this for so long that I've forgotten the things. I think some things are genuinely a little bit off today. Slightly disappointing. On a positive note though, we are hand flying a jetliner to 300 and we have got some AC available. Surprisingly steady hand flown. It's not something I would usually do. Let's try an altitude hold. So VNAV and LNAV have engaged once again. No, nothing. Pobeda 737, a little bit of bad luck. Let's go for an altitude hold. So part of me thinks this may be because we didn't do a new flight and we've just continued from the last. We've done a whole new flight by continuing it from the last stop, and the plane maybe got a little bit confused. I'm a bit baffled myself. It's peculiar. It is. By the way, I just checked out your channel. Really cool to see you flying the Tupolev 154B2. Really cool plane. Very difficult to learn as well. So kudos to you for that. Very, very good. I have to go and watch that and see how it was. I actually did one myself with it not long ago, and I was so glad to get hold of it. This feederless Tupolev is one of the best. For those who don't know, one of the best freeware planes available, and it's on par with the 737 by level up. But I would say the Tupolev is probably a little bit better, actually, probably more in depth. Yes, it really is a beautiful one. I don't know if you're interested in it, but they have another version available. I think it's a TU-134 available as well, and it's the Churchella. So I don't know if you're interested in trying it, but that is available. I think it's Master Skyer who did that one. Fearless and Master Skyer or something like that. No, I can't do it on the Tupolev either with the old system. I mean, it does it automatically, but like it will tune the numbers automatically for you if you put the correct frequencies and things. But because it's already pretty difficult to learn, you know, I wouldn't recommend it. Aircraft is struggling as well to maintain this. Let's level off it. Try and level off and try and get the autopilot on again. I don't know about the 134. I would like to try it, but like you say, it's complicated and it takes a long time to set up. I'm still blown away this autopilot won't work, everyone. It's putting a little bit of a dent in my flying day, let's put it that way. We did hand fly it up to 30,000. I guess we can just continue to hand fly it, I guess. Speed is even lower than what it needs to be. The aircraft is just generally struggling in all aspects. Throughout the entire stream, it struggled with performance on the first sector. It struggled with performance on this one. I actually thought it had got better, but it seems like some of the systems, and especially the autopilot, have actually got worse somehow. So I still recommend it, but I think level up. You know, I don't know if this is a new flight model. I don't know if you've reverted back to an old one, but please bring back the one that was in version 1, because that was. I'm pretty sure this is different, because the version 1 worked flawlessly. Again, unless I'm just completely missing something, but I don't think I am, guys. Autopilot's just getting disengaged all the time. There we go, 30,000 feet. We're gonna have to do this hand flown, aren't we? top of the descent, and then we'll be coming into land. I don't know if there's ATC or not. Oh, the 7300, the 737-200, yeah, it looks good. Got the 727 as well, which is also a good plane. Yeah, Zebo was good, but I mean, Zebo had some issues with the handling and systems, and it kind of feels like they're using the Zebo systems on this now. Level Up ones use different systems, and then I just can't explain it, guys. I really can't. I'm thinking, yeah, if the Zebo mod is better than this, maybe I should just go back and install it again. But I have no idea. We can't exactly start to level off, because leveling off and trying to keep it level in a 737 or manually is actually quite difficult. We've got 38 winds coming off of the right hand side. Bizarre. Usually autopilot would disconnect like that when it has an interaction with something else, so when something else is causing it to disconnect. I'm sure they will iron the issue out. I'm hoping they will. Unless it's going to be embarrassing if I find out at the end that this is like my mistake. But we did it. No issues on the first route. The IRS is aligned though. It was already aligned when we went, so that shouldn't be causing it. So it should be able to use the position. All the systems are on up here. No autopilot disconnect or anything like that. That door should be closed. Yeah, true. I want to diagnose this on the stream so we can all figure this out together. We can all learn what the hell this is in this stream. It's only 3 hours though, so yeah, it's a good amount of time I think for these two trips. Doing a return trip at this time is probably a little bit too much. It just says control input, conflicting control inputs. Honeycomb, I have recently had a bind into a battery set. Every time I push back, the whole plane froze. Key binding issue, maybe that's also your autopilot issue. Possibly. I haven't used my buttons on the Honeycomb though today. I'm just using the controls themselves. I'm not pushing the buttons. I've only pushed the GA button, which worked with no problems on the first route. I mean, it could be, yeah, to do with the autopilot as well. Conflicting controls there. When I say autopilot, I mean the MCP panel. Let's get the flight director on there. Still nothing. Yeah, strange, considering my experience in this plane and my previous flights in it. It's very, very odd actually to come back and to have this happen. Anyway, we're going to do our descent and then land at final destination Stockholm Airport. Let's get descending then, so bring those throttles back. We're going to do the best we can on the hand-flown flight, I guess. Yeah, I tried that with the go-around button. It's the go-around button is working, but it's not working either. Anyway, yeah, so we're coming down now. We're going to do this best we can, as I say. If I don't do very well on the approach, that's not a problem. We can always correct for the landing and try and do a good job. I think we're going to be landing straight in. I haven't looked at the arrival chart, unfortunately. I should probably do that and get the arrival chart up on here. So, ESA, Echo Sierra Alpha. QNH, we did set QNH standard, didn't we? So 1029. And I'm not going to forget the minimums this time, everybody. We're going to do about 200 feet. So 200 feet radio minimums is set. Let's get the approach. What was the approach again? It's the however you say that, Ilan. ILA 3 November. Runway 19 right. Let's just look at the approach for 19 right and see what's going on. So it looks like an ILS again, a very simple chart to be fair, which is really useful. Not a high approach, only 2,500 feet and a very slight gradient. So I'm used to really steep approaches lately, and this is a real difference, a real relaxing approach. Believe me, it's easier than 5.5 degrees, that's for sure. So we are going to have a little bit of trouble. Then again, we've flown loads of hand-flown approaches and things on this flight, this channel. You know, we did Para, we did a lot of those challenging airports. So, coming down and we have 110.7. Now less frequency, and we got a DME meet required. At 150 feet.
To go.
So it's kind of acting like it's got the autopilot on already. It's a little bit strange. So let's set the altitude 2,500. I can't see that warning about the auto thrust. I turned the auto throttle off because I wanted to control it manually. Yeah, I turned the auto throttle off. I can't see a warning about the caution for the auto thrust thing. If you mean this little knob here, I turned that to number 1 before we took off, and then I switched it to just switched it back to both again. But again, that's not the issue. That's not causing it to fail. As you can see, it's on both. We won't figure it out probably today, which is unfortunate. The aircraft, as you can see, I'm holding my controls, and it's sort of. It seems to be fighting against me in a way. The aircraft seems to be possessed. You know, we'll call it Pobeda Airlines National Service or something. Possessed Airlines. We'll leave this question in the comments after. Can't engage autopilot level 2 as level up version 2. Would the developers like to elaborate on what is causing this? Something like that. Something very polite, because the plane is excellent otherwise. And as you can see there, the speed has also been set to a strange level. Right, good, we got a fairly clear sky. Can't see much because it's dark, but we can see lights in the distance. Okay, fairly simple airport. Nice, quite a few runways. We'll be able to park in lots of varied spaces there. As you were looking in the EFB, it seems if you don't pay attention on speed, that's why I said it. Don't move the levers, you'll get into a stall later. Sure, I mean, I'd usually idle them on descent anyway, and that's what the plane would do if you were on auto throttle. Bizarre. Right, one more try the autopilot, just one more try guys. I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up after that excellent landing that we had at Helsinki. And my dreams were dashed in the blink of an eye. Oh man. Right, ATC, I forgot about that. ATC's available. I think they're in this airport. They are in this airport, blimey. How are we going to explain this issue to them? let's try and get on the radio and just explain our situation a little bit. I'm trying to explain the autopilot's not working, so it would be centre said contact them, but I thought it would have been approached, to be honest. So 131 130.
Nordic 817 and continue back.
Nordic 817, I'm ready. Descend to flight level 220.
Right. Explanation is not going to be a good one, guys. We'll give it a go. Stockholm radar, Victor Papa Bravo Papa Kilo with you, descending now 10,000 feet. We have a little bit of an autopilot issue, so we will be able to use it on the approach.
Victor Papa Bravo Papa Kilo, good afternoon. Stop the Sweden ground, radar contact, left heading 200, maintain flight level 100.
Okay, to 200 and stop, and then maintain flight level 100. Bravo Papa Kilo.
Victor Papa Kilo, near scope 4270, please.
4270, Bravo Papa Kilo.
And just to be very clear, maintain flight level 100.
100, Bravo Papa Kilo. As I say, we've got an autopilot issue. We're not actually able to use our autopilot at the moment, so it's all hand flown, unfortunately.
Roger.
Right, well, we've told him what the issue is. It's just going to make it a little bit more tricky, because I'm not, you know, I don't even think airline pilots are used to flying these things hand flown, other than when they're in training. I know they do landings and takeoffs hand flown, but I'm talking about the whole flight. It's not very easy. Anyway, we'll make it.
Bravo, confirm your turning left, heading 200.
Confirmed, heading 200, Bravo Papa Kilo.
Yes, you need to turn to that heading. You will not be allowed to continue into busy airspace if you cannot fly headings.
Bravo Papa Kilo, I have explained we got an autopilot issue, so we're having to fly this hand flown at the moment.
Yes, I do understand that, but a requirement of Maxim is that you at least should be able to reasonably maintain your level and an assigned heading.
I think he gave us a couple.
Frequency change approved, goodbye.
Frequency change approved, Nordic 817, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
They're so fucking rude, aren't they, on that sim? It's just unbelievable. I'm kind of thinking we should maybe rename the stream and just keep the first flight, and then, because the autopilot's not working the second one, we cancel the second flight and just do the first flight as a video. And then I'll come back later date and do this flight when it's actually working again. And at least that way, guys, I'll be able to find out the problem offline, and you know, I'll get back to you on it and see what level up have to say as well. Anyway, his vectors is out towards 200. I hope he's going to give us the right runway here.
Victor Papa Kilo, right heading 280.
Right, 280, Bravo Papa Kilo.
Lufthansa 7 Lima X-ray, climb to flight level 340.
Let's try and get our speed up a little bit and just get that altitude, because we keep dropping our nose down. Anyway, 280.
Travel 100, travel 180 and 106.
Reynolds 4505, setting ground radar contact, climb to flight level 280.
Climb level 280 for Reynolds 4505.
Victor Papa Kilo, contact Stockholm approach 126 decimal 655.
126655 Bravo Papa Kilo. So he vectors us out to the left and then back to the right again to basically go back on course to where we will basically head into. And then he passed us off to approach anyway. I mean, that is another level of stupidity, isn't it? That is just, it's unbelievable, guys. It really is. I actually want to end the stream. I know it sounds bad, but I just not having a good time on the network now after that. That's very, very rude of him. Not unlike people on the Vatsim network. This is partly why I don't fly in it anymore. I'm going to keep descending now. We'll keep descending now 2,500 feet. And we'll go straight in for runway 19 then. Let's go straight to the approach on here. So we click runway 19 as center fix. Flaps down to 1. No, it's alright, German flight center. I'm not going to give people feedback. Let's do flaps 5. We're actually coming in quite nicely. Just a little bit on the high side. I'm hoping this is going to be a decent runway to land on in terms of you know, its conditions. Is it going to be dry? Most likely. The rain and snow seems to have cleared up here in Stockholm. Still snow on the ground, of course, but the runway is probably going to be in better condition. Looks like same speed on landing, so 40.
2500.
40 about 147 there. So about the same as what we had in Helsinki. And we're at the approach height now, so 2,500 feet. It's very, very difficult to see anything. You've got this sort of glare coming up here from the lighting. Let's go ahead and turn it down a little bit. So we put 5 flaps. Let's go for a 10 degrees of flaps. Yeah, there is a controller input, so as you can see I'm moving my Honeycomb yoke here, and when I'm doing so, watch the yoke in the actual cockpit. So it's actually trying to move the opposite direction. I don't know if you can see it. It's moving in a very strange way. So again, it seems like there is a control conflict there. Right, we have 2200. We're actually a little bit low now, so the runway is over there somewhere. We will have visual in a second. We're about 150, which is good speed. We're going to slow down to 147 when we turn onto final. No, I appreciate it. I'm glad we got to use the autopilot on the first leg to Helsinki, though. This second one's been a real challenge. Not realistic though at all. I think Level Up version 2 is definitely beautiful and it definitely looks better and sounds better, but I think it might just be because I didn't start a new flight from scratch, so I continued the flight from within the actual aircraft rather than reload the next plane. Maybe it's something in there has confused the system. As I say, if there's a pilot in this chat, it'd be great to have feedback. We've got German Flight Sim who's been very helpful as well, and good to see you in here. And if you want to join me for the next flight, you're more than welcome. Yeah, controls are fighting me a little bit. Let's get the gear down. We're a bit early, but again, we're just flying a little bit rogue today. We're going to be doing airline operations in Pobeda, a little bit on the rough side. Cabin lighting, take up a landing. I think that's about all we need on there. We could use the Avi tablet for parking. By the way, if German Flight Sim, if you're using version 1, just be cautious, by the way, because obviously with the issues we've had today, you may want to keep that. You may want to keep the version 1 and just use that for the time being. Maybe try version 2 and see how it goes. But the problem, it's not just the fact that the autopilot won't connect. It's the fact that there's been a lot of performance issues. Not flying it it's not been flying it correctly, it's not been performing very well. Again, I don't know if that's version 2 specifically, or if it's just the fact that they may have overhauled something and it's causing problems. Okay, there's the runway. Can we select the approach mode? Yes, so at least we'll have some guidance on the system. I have noticed the flight directors are disappearing a little bit. Probably, yeah, like I say, probably best just to stick version 1. I'm going to be sticking, I think, probably version 1 still after today. I wanted it to be quite a good review, so maybe I'll keep the first flight and just change the title. Just call it, you know, Petrozavodsk to Helsinki. Because it went well in terms of autopilot, but it didn't handle it perfectly, so definitely improvements to be made. Anyway, full flaps. We're going in with quite a high thrust setting today. Let's see, it's going to give us a crap approach rating, but it probably will give me a good landing rate again, hopefully. It won't be 5 stars like I got at Helsinki, but we can try. I'll watch you on next stream, by the way, German Flight Simulator. Well, I'll try to watch it. I might not be able to watch it live, but I'll watch it on catch up. I'm going to go back and watch your Tupolev stream as well. I'm interested in that. Just a standard ILS in a 737 hand flown. Not any different to a Cessna really. I was actually talking about complicated autopilot systems on one of my videos, so it may already be out or it may be coming soon. I literally said in it that you don't have the added complication of these systems on the smaller planes, which is true. On the big planes, when something doesn't go right, it usually means there's a massive problem elsewhere, and you know it's expensive to fix it, and it usually causes problems in many systems, not just one. So it'd be a knock-on effect, a chain effect. Okay, well, wind is 12 knots, 212 at 12 knots. We're sort of stabilised. We're just coming in a little bit fast here. I've done that as well many times. Not turn the generators on and the engine's just blown up on me. Excellent. Fun times. Fun times.
Approaching minimums. 200 minimum.
Continue.
80 knots.
Check. Taking a long time to stop, so there is a little bit of ice on the runway here. It is a little bit slippy in Stockholm. I'm going to take the fast speed exit, so reverses, retract, spoilers, and we can probably get the flaps up. I don't think that announcement played when we landed at Helsinki. Don't remember it. Brilliant, so yeah, slippy runway. Perfect winter flying. Let's see, is it going to be an excellent landing with a rubbish approach? I think it probably will be. Standard for Ground from CPG channel. So strobes and wing lights can come off. So let's just kind of visually look where we're going to park. I can already see it actually. We're going to just continue. We're not going to bother with the APU. We'll just do a full shutdown with no ground power. Gotta keep our speed a little bit low here because of obviously there's ice, and we don't really want to go above 15, so that's like a speed limit for aircraft icy wet conditions. I would say even less than that, probably around 10. I know 10 is a little bit too slow for some people, but when you get into a sort of skid on in these planes, it goes south very, very quickly. The plane could literally be drifting across the taxiway and into a runway. That's how bad it can be. I want to fly in Detroit. I want to explore America this year. South America, North America. I also going to do more flights in the UK. Probably will stick to the UK actually. Just the places I enjoy flying. The UK, you know, France. I'm going to try for North and South America and see how I feel. But I usually like flying in Europe, specifically the mainland. I'm not really in the mainland of Europe at the moment. We're sort of in the northern part, and yeah, this is pretty much new to me. I think I only flew here once before. Right, ground power. So no, we don't need ground power. We're going to check, is this going to be a terrible landing? I'd rather get a terrible approach than a terrible landing. So is it going to be 5 stars, or is it going to be even worse? Yep, terrible rating on the approach, great landing. Looks like I was right again on it. So yeah, the performance on this thing is pretty good. Again, the cockpit door just randomly opens. Logo, we're going to turn it all off, guys. There's no need to mess around here. So engine's coming off. Autopilot wouldn't reconnect. Again, no idea why. Let's get the IRS off. I want to do diagnostics offline, so I'll look into it a little bit more and see if I can do anything to perhaps get it to work. But I'm not a wizard at this sort of thing, so it's all new to me. We do have ground power. Jetway's connecting. A little bit late on the jetway. People have been sat in the dark for the last 5 minutes. Okay, cool, so all the lights off. Ground services set chocks. Whew. That was bizarre. That was such a bizarre flight. I want to watch the replay. Nice little replay there. 4-star landing, so 5 stars at Helsinki, 4 at Arlanda, Stockholm. You're welcome, German's Flight Summer, and I will wrap up on the ground a little bit more just after this replay. Well, that was absolute butter, that landing, wasn't it? Yeah, so thank you for being here, Flight Simmer. What I'll do is, I don't really like this second flight. It's been a bit of a pain. It was nice to interact and have you talking, but what I'm going to do is just delete the rest of the video. So what I'll do is I'll upload half of it. So I'll go back and I'll get rid of the second half and just keep the flight to Helsinki, and then hopefully in the future, when I attempt this flight again, which was meant to be, you know, quite good, it's actually turned out pretty crap because of the issues with the plane. So I'll delete it, and then you guys will have one flight to view. I'll also save that replay that we just saw and probably upload that as a short. In the meantime, guys, take care. I'll try this flight again, maybe with version 1 of Level Up, and see how it goes. Bye bye.